Got a lot of snow over the weekend. Some places, I don't know, several feet.
So she ran away in a sleep.
Got Dad's truck out of the garage.
Paradise.
Loading some junk. Put on the new plates. Had to take them off with a crowbar last time.
Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met, you were worth the wait.
Hey guys, we're back here at our Maine renovation. Today we're gonna do a full walkthrough of the interior. A lot has changed since we were last here. Then we're gonna be meeting with a good friend named Olivia who works for Venture Solar. She's coming to discuss what our options might be for some solar panels on the house, or just really alternative electricity sources. It's no mystery that rate hikes are happening across the country for electricity. So depending on our property, the way that it's angled and the type of sun that we get, it could be a really good option for us, especially because we're in the middle of construction. Could also help make installation even smoother. Come on. Look at this garage. The sticks are up and this is just the front, only the beginning. So what you're looking at here, we talked about this previously, is probably gonna be the new front door. I just want you all to envision coming in from there, and right along here is where we are hoping to have our mudroom slash, I guess, coat closet sort of hanging area here. And then down this way is going to be the main hallway. It's pretty cool to see where the walls are finally going to be. Coming in from that window space there, all the way down. That room beyond this insulation over here is going to be our laundry and utility area, and then full bathroom here. Closing it off with a barn door. And into the main living space we go. What used to be here? Stairs! And now they're over there. So excited to really feel the difference in this space. We always knew the room was there, things just needed to get rearranged. I don't know if y'all can see, but the chimney is almost completely gone. It's been kind of a process to get rid of, considering the materials and how heavy. Stairs really work out over here on this side. Keeps everything just off and away and open. Can't wait to see what we do with the front door, hoping to relocate it to probably about where you see this window over here. But I just am really taken back with how huge this place feels compared to the way it was previously. We had previously talked about taking this beam and this beam here, bringing them together right in the middle. That will come in time. Is also going to really help sort of improve the feng shui of the room. Obviously the house needs supported. This really is the center point architecturally. But bringing it all together into one area is also gonna just free up the maneuverment of this room. Back wall over here, like discussed, is gonna be the kitchen. We're gonna have a beautiful island right here, hoping to have a really nice sectional for people to sit down, probably mounting the TV to the side of the stairs. But, you know, that's not set in stone yet. Furnishments obviously come last. The biggest thing is how great this room feels. Can't get over just the square footage sense that's just been added by removing the big bulky staircase that's been down the center for so long. Another cool thing about relocating the stairs and rebuilding them really is we've gained a small pantry area for the kitchen. Storage is going to be a little tricky with this house, so having this entire space here, maybe doing some built-in shelves on the sides. Nick and I have been looking at a ton of options online, but this is really going to help create an area for us to store food and other materials that need to remain down here. Feels really good to see this room so open because now we can really visualize the banquette that we want to have installed in the corner over here, right beside the kitchen cabinets. And that bathroom is just a step up here for ease of use when down in this main area. Nick and I were also toying around with the idea of doing something interesting along the side of these stairs. We saw some really cool like vertical wood slat, kind of like feature accent wall detail work. We also considered maybe doing shelving along here. Having this room be so open really does open our minds to just different ways of not only designing the space, but decorating it as well. Not sure about this, but this will be going. Up the stairs. It's pretty exciting because it basically feels like we've reversed the entry point of the home compared to how it used to be. We are all bedrooms up here, and our contractor Steve even found, based on our floor plan and initial design, that there was some room over here to create a closet for this third bedroom that we were able to slam in here. Closets are everything. I know I had reiterated before that storage is going to be tight here. So, looking forward to take advantage of every square inch that we possibly can. If you can remember, this is where our kitchen used to be located, and it is now the primary bedroom space. This area here closed off provides as one of the largest closet spaces that we will probably have next to under the stairs. Trying to stay smart with the layout and be mindful, but at the same time, really opening things up. On the other side is our secondary bedroom. It's the second most sizable room in the space, and also has some really good corner light in it. Looking forward to getting these windows replaced, although they don't look nearly half as shabby as they did before. It's really good to get a nice sense of light in this room, seeing how the sun falls on the floor. I don't know if you all normally look at things like that, but me being a plant person and being a photographer and just being someone who's just naturally really sensitive to light on a daily basis, I really enjoy the directionality that's happening in here. This is gonna just be a simply beautiful room to spend time in. We envision probably filling it with extra large bunk beds or at least 2 separate beds, so people can come and enjoy the space with us, and it can overnight quite a few guests. And it'll feel like a great time. It's gonna be a family space. There is no closet that we've been able to figure out in this space, but after seeing it, if you all can visualize it, drop it in the comments. We're always open to your opinions and advice. Through here, you have the primary bathroom, main bathroom for the entire upper level, really. It's gonna be a fully outfitted, hopefully 2 vanity, toilet, linen closet space over here. And then in a perfect world, Nick and I would probably just do a really fancy walk-in shower situation. However, we're planning on having guests and other people stay here with us at times. And being a runner, I occasionally do love my hot soaker baths that I'll take. So maybe looking at like a clawfoot sort of retro inspired idea with shower rings around the top. Doing a lot of research and homework to try to figure out what the best option would be for us, but we don't want to completely omit the tub sort of function, especially if there are small ones here too that need the tub. Like I said, taking a hot bath, shower function will still be there. Trying to be versatile. Prior to beginning our construction journey with this project, we were able to get the power restored to the property. Upon receiving our first power bill, while still cheaper than a fully functioning home, we had quite a few questions and concerns about the itemization and charges posted. So, after doing a little homework, we realized that there might be a huge benefit in going solar. Maine does not produce its own power. Resellers buy it from a variety of sources, to include Canada and other states. Then it is resold to Maine residents. This has caused annual price increases, and since one of our goals with this property was to make it as efficient as possible, this is a perfect opportunity to explore our options. We reached out to a reputable company in the area called Venture Solar. And they agreed to send one of their representatives, Olivia, out to inspect our property, discuss our power needs, and if we could be a good candidate. Let's see what she has to say.
So we're Venture Solar. My goal today is to give you a high-level overview of what we get when we go solar, how it works, kind of why it's not too good to be true.
Yeah.
Really great to know today, of course, is just a consultation. So I will encourage you and Nicholas to talk amongst yourself and just make sure you're choosing a decision that's best for you, your family, and your home. When we do decide to move forward, we'll send out a site assessor. They're the ones who essentially approve the home for the solar system. Ethically, as a company, we never want to install in a home where the solar system will outlast the life of the roof and the electrical. So where your roof is brand new, that's not going to be any problems. I'm looking here at your electrical, that also looks brand new. Yes. So you all will pass with flying colors there.
I actually have a question.
Yeah,
could people, could having the panels installed, could that potentially void a warranty on the roof, or can it interfere with that, or is that respective to whatever company installs the roof on your home?
I have never personally heard of a solar system voiding a roof warranty.
Okay.
So it should be well. Where you all have an asphalt roof, we actually use special technology for our attachments.
Okay.
So what it does, it almost mimics like a suction cup is the best way to describe it. So the attachment goes on the roof. It's airtight locked. And so what happens there, because it's airtight there, our penetration goes on the top, and we use a silicone called GeoCell. It's rated specifically for solar installations. And because it's airtight inside, the GeoCell has the ability to stay liquid. So unlike in other construction where they might use caulking that becomes brittle over time, that causes the leaks. So because it's airtight and the silicone stays liquid inside, it has the ability to be airtight throughout the entire life of the system.
Okay.
And when we talk about a high-level overview of solar, how it ends up working, right now your utility meter has the ability to go forwards, tracking the production of the system. When we go solar, it'll also have the ability to go backwards, tracking the solar production. So during the day, your meter will flow backwards, tracking the solar, and you'll actually benefit right away from the solar production. So as the solar is producing, it'll go right to you first, and then anything you don't use in that day gets sent to CMP and what's called bank generation. So CMP stores all that additional energy you didn't use in a day for you whenever you need it next.
Oh, cool.
So during the winter time, when we're producing less than we're using, CMP will send all that energy back to us.
Oh, neat.
So that's kind of a little overview of
it's
how
like
the
a savings account for your electricity.
Exactly right. So a couple of key benefits when going solar. The first is the environmental impact. The second is the financial benefit, as well as the added house value to the home. So when we break those three components down, right now, CMP uses coal-powered emissions to fire their infrastructure. So a lot of pollutants end up going in our air. Also, there is a sense of deforestation because a lot of their lines and equipment end up going in our forests and fields, as well as there's a lot of unnecessary storm restoration and maintenance with our equipment. So when we go solar, there's no pollutants, no deforestation, and little to no maintenance with the system. Right now, our top complaints as Maine residents is our electricity bills are simply just getting a bit too high, right? So unfortunately, the state of Maine wasn't able to convince CMP to lower their rates, but what they were able to do was offer solar at a more affordable rate for homeowners. We'll talk a bit more about that here shortly, but good to know there is savings in residential solar.
For sure.
Zillow did a study in 2019. They surveyed a couple of thousand homes, some with solar, some without. They found that the houses with solar ended up increasing the house value by about 4.1%. And then throughout the year, solar has been a lot more popular. So they redid the same study last year in 2024 and found out that it ended up increasing the house value by about 6.8%. So not only do we get a lot of added house value, but the trend is as solar gets more popular, it also increases more and more. And have you heard, Sophie, at all about the 30% federal tax credit going on right now?
I think lightly, but I don't know too many details about it.
So let's talk about it. So the 30% federal tax credit going on right now is 30% of the system cost goes towards your tax liability. So let's say a system costs $25,000. 30% of that is $7,500. So you would essentially have up to 5 years to claim $7,500 towards your tax liability. Tax liability can be in 3 ways. You either owe in at the end of the year, you break even at the end of tax season, or they send you a reimbursement at the end of tax season. So how it ends up working in all 3 scenarios, let's say we owe $1,000 at the end of tax season. 1,000 out of that 7,500 goes towards your taxes, and then you'd have the remaining 4 years to claim the 6,500.
Cool.
When we break even during tax season, even though it's not a bad thing, unfortunately, homeowners don't benefit from the program.
Okay.
And then when we get a reimbursement at the end of tax season, they actually send you the full tax credit back. We can benefit from this when we essentially either owe in taxes or get reimbursement at the end of the year in taxes. We also have what we call the Save the Most Today option. This is a federally funded guided program that the state of Maine is opting to be inclusive in for our residents. So essentially what it is, it's a third-party ownership option for 25 years. And simply what we're doing is swapping out your current CMP electric bill with a lower solar rate electric bill.
Okay.
So the benefit of this is $0 upfront to install. And again, what we're doing, we're offering you a more efficient, more environmentally friendly, lower rate of electricity for the solar system.
You mentioned like servicing. So is there, upon installation, is there going to be like a recommended like wellness sort of structure for the panels?
Great question. So all of our systems come with monitoring, and there's no annual maintenance with the system, but the systems are very self-intuitive, where if there were to ever be an issue, the monitoring system lets us know. So only maintenance that's needed is if there is an issue with the system. Unlikely that happens. It's very rare that this type of technology needs like regular maintenance or servicing. But the benefit of being fully covered is you don't have to worry about the cost of that when or if it's needed.
Perfect.
So the state of Maine has made it very easy to qualify. First, the home has to get enough sun exposure, which it does. Roof and electrical have to be in good condition, which it is. And we have to own the home, meaning it's not a rental. So accessories for the solar system, like battery storage. So instead of getting a generator, you could have the battery storage, which acts as a generator throughout an outage. The benefit to that truly is that you already have the energy source on the roof, right? So where generators use propane to power the system, you already have There's
no filling it.
Exactly. There's no filling it and no additional cost. Absolutely.
After, if we were to move forward and everything was smooth sailing, about how quickly could we get an installation? Or is that subject to a couple other elements?
Our typical timeline is 60 to 90 days. So we'll get permitting with the town and also the interconnection with CMP. That's the bulk of the 60 to 90 days.
For the clerical sort of things.
Yeah, just getting that permit approval and CMP to acknowledge that we're installing a solar system. That typically takes at the long end 2 to 3 months. So because of that, we give that 2 to 3 month timeline. But once we get those approvals, we're ready to install. Now, our panels are made in Georgia and our inverters are made in New York. So because we choose to use equipment that's made here in the US, they're of what we call a tier 1 quality. And Sophie, what this relates to is the efficiency of the system. So when we install, it's at 100% efficiency. After 25 years, that only goes down to 92% efficiency. So even though the warranty life of the system is 25 years, the actual life expectancy of the system is about 40 to 45 years.
Oh my God.
Now, when we talk about your utility bill, I'm going to pull this up here and go over a couple of key charges on here.
Yeah.
So there are 3 primary charges I'd like to take time to talk to you about. The first is the supply charge, how much CMP charges you for the energy. The second is the delivery charge, how much CMP charges you for servicing on the lines and maintenance on their equipment. As you can see, like in most cases, you're actually paying more for the delivery than you are what the cost of the energy is.
I can reverberate. When I mentioned how we were interested in the bill before, we were like, what is that charge? And that's when Nick started doing the research, and we were like, let's maybe weigh our options here and learn about what's happening.
And, you know, unfortunately, I see very often when someone has, you know, a $400 electric bill, the primary charge is the delivery compared to what you're actually using for the energy. So it's very common, unfortunately. Any other questions you all had about your bill?
No, this is very helpful because we honestly didn't spend too much time dissecting the bill. We were just more curious about what those charges were and how they differed from what we're used to down where we live and how it works.
And each state does things a bit differently. So
very differently.
It's good to know. Also, one thing to notice when we do go solar on the bill, each month you'll be able to see how much you used, how much you produced, and how much was banked for later. So that's also very trackable on the bill as well.
We're big planners too, so that could be helpful.
That is helpful.
Budget that.
So why don't we go through the load calculation? How long have you all physically owned the house?
So we've been officially ownership of this property since the beginning of December 24.
And how many rooms are going to be in the home?
So they're just generally speaking.
General rooms.
Okay, so we could say 8 for right now.
Electric vehicle charger?
We have a hybrid vehicle, so it doesn't need that. But we would be interested to know what it would probably affect the cost or how it would affect the whole process. We don't have an electric vehicle at this time, but could potentially possess one later.
And are we planning on window ACs, heat pumps?
We are planning on doing HVAC, so a central system.
Central system. Mm-hmm. That's going to be your primary heating source as well?
Yes.
Perfect. And how many square feet is the home?
It's going to have about 1,800 functional square feet.
Okay. So with all of that, we're going to potentially say your annual usage is 14,608 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
Typical household is between 10 and 15,000 kilowatt hours. So this makes sense for what I would consider the typical household for you all.
Okay, great.
So what this does is take satellite imagery of the home and calculates a percentage called a total solar resource fraction, which is simply how much sun hits the home at any given time of the year. So it goes back 30 years of weather data to these coordinates, calculates sun path, tree growth, sunny, rainy, cloudy, snowy days. Puts it all into this percentage for us so we know, again, exactly how much sun's hitting the home at any given time of the year. So if I look here, this red arrow is north. Our sun rises in the east. Majority of the day it's in the south and sets in the west. So the front of your home here, or more like the back of the home, I think, from this view, is very north facing, where this side of the home, this brighter orange color, is rather south facing. So because this is more south facing, it gets a total of about, if I look here, about 64 to 62% of all the sun we could possibly get. Where the more northern facing side of the roof gets about 44 to 31%. So my goal is going to be to utilize this area here.
Okay.
Now, before I came here, I did a pre-design, just not knowing how much usage you all were going to have. Right now with this design, it gets us about, I'd say, a little less than half of the usage that's going to be expected from you all. Gets us 6,155 kilowatt hours. So with saying that, is there any interest in cutting down trees?
We definitely are interested in cutting down trees. We are interested in expanding the lot around the house a little bit, which I expect should hopefully help. We did do a previous episode actually with Hancock Lumber because of the interest in doing the tree farm down the line. So we are happy to remove some trees as needed, as you guys could even recommend too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. This is SunPath.
Oh, wow.
So this would model June 21st at noontime. So we can see how the sun kind of, if I zoom in here, the shading that happens.
Yeah.
So because the shading's coming from this direction, this rises in the morning. I would actually recommend cutting down trees along this line here.
Okay.
Just that way, where the tree's modeled that way, it would really help to get some more sunlight for the home.
Yeah, totally. We're very receptive to that information.
Wonderful.
That's stuff that we just don't know.
Do you have a generator currently?
We do not, but we are definitely interested in considering that.
So I'm going to say no for now. When you all decide to move forward with solar, just let us know when you get a generator because what we're going to have to install is called a tap box.
Okay.
And what that allows the solar system to do is to stay shut off during an outage.
Okay.
Because when the generator fires on, it'll tend to fire on the entire house. And so we want the solar system to remain shut off so it's not backfeeding into the grid.
Got it. Okay.
So must be exciting kind of doing all these renovations.
Yeah. It's he and I have changed things up and improved the house that we currently live in down in Maryland here and there, but nothing like this.
Any questions you have or anything you thought that we go over that we didn't quite cover today?
Honestly, you covered even more than I could have thought beforehand. So, and you actually checked all the boxes on the questions we had prepared.
Excellent.
Really enjoyed it. It was very informative.
Wonderful. Good to hear.
Olivia was awesome. She was full of information. It was a long presentation, but very informative. Super important for us because power is going up really across the country. Upon getting our first bill, the delivery charges on there were a rise for concern, and thus is why we started doing research and considering solar. I know in previous episodes I've mentioned how we want to go all electric and all efficient with this house, but I think it's just yet another facet of that. Kind of the only way right now that's helping people curb this rate spike in electricity. Yeah, good things to think about.